A moment ago, Iago was denying and deflecting. Now, provoked by Rodrigo's challenge, he drops the act. What pours out isn't just an excuse, it's a creed, a bitter, arrogant manifesto that introduces us to the engine of the entire play. Iago's wounded, calculating, and supremely dangerous ego. Welcome back to Little. We are in the heart of Act 1, Scene 1. Rodrigo has just confronted him. Thou toldst me thou didst hold him in thy head. You told me that you hate him. And Iago's response is masterclass in character building. These 9 lines, numbered 8 through 17 in your text, don't just explain a grudge. They build a vein and a villain. Let's look. Feel the shift in the air. Iago stops reacting. He takes the stage. His tone changes from defensive. Why defensive? You won't hear me. You are not going to let me speak. From that defensive to a declarative, analytical, and a venomous tone. He's not just telling Rodrigo he is angry. He is presenting his case. He begins by doubling down on his hatred. Despise me if I do not. Hate me if I do not. Do not what? If I don't hate him. Go ahead, hate me. This is like an oath, don't you think so? He immediately stakes his identity on his hatred. Then he lays out his evidence, right? Now let's see what is his first argument. It's about the social capital, right? 3 great ones of the city in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, off cap to him, right? Let's see, 3 great ones of the city. It means the 3 important men of the city went to bat for Iago. And what happened was they were off-capped. It means they were neglected. They were withdrawn by Othello. And why did these 3 important men went for Othello? In order to make him the lieutenant of Othello, right? In personal suit. Personally agreed to bat for me in front of Othello, and they went for it. But what happened was Othello off-capped him, right? So this also highlights the image that is in the Iago's mind, right? Iago is a person who is obsessed with these rituals of a status, right? So he expects the formal public respect and he thinks he deserves it, right? So he completely, very arrogantly mentions that their recommendation was to him a binding contract, but what happened was Othello ignored the contract, right? And then we can have an entrance to the core of Iago's soul. And by the faith of man, right? By the faith of man, a crude soldier's oath, this is. And then the key praise, I know my price. Now this is really special. These 4 words highlights the pride, self-estimation, and the professional jealousy, the dream he had, isn't it? Everything is shown by these 4 words, I know my price. This is not about love, loyalty, or the service. It's a transaction. He is a commodity on the market of war, right? He says it by himself, I am worth no worse a place. Now see the anger in his tone. We can see the alliteration of the words worse and worth, right? Which highlights that. Okay, so he was a person who was a soldier, right? So Othello has seen it. right? He was on the market of the war and he has praised by his own value. Othello is not promoting him, but he has fundamentally devalued him, right? So this is where Iago got hurt, right? This is the foundation, of course. This is the insult that the money in the Rodrigo's face can't fix. Now Rodrigo is complaining about money, right? At the moment. But Iago is not someone like that. He has a hatred because he is a person who loves his position, his pride. Everything was damaged by Othello's act. But he, as loving his own pride and purposes. Now here, Iago seems to diagnose Othello's sin as pride, right? He says that Othello is the person who is guided by his pride and his purposes, his own guidance. That is the weakness of Othello, highlighted by Iago. Let's see how he uses it against Othello later on. And we move on. Evades them with the bombast circumstance. Now this highlights the self-confidence within Othello, and also on the other hand the pride and the very what do you call that, independent nature of Othello when it comes to decision making, isn't it? So bombast circumstance means very pretense, okay? So very pretense and horribly stuffed with epithets of woe. Now he says that epithets means examples, right? So he crammed full of fancy military jargon. Now at the moment, to Iago, the blunt soldier, Othello's eloquence is just hot air, a pretentious smoke screen to hide his arbitrary favoritism. He hates Othello's words as much as his decision. We can see it clearly through these lines. And in conclusion, now here he concludes, right? Let's see what he says. Now here he makes the rejection sound legally final. Nonsuits my mediators. Nonsuits means a legal term meaning to dismiss a plaintiff's case. He frames it as a courtroom defeat, isn't it? Now, what he says is nonsuits my mediators. His powerful mediators were thrown out. The system failed. And for certs, says he, for certs is actually, how can I say that? When we talk about the word cert, it's an archaic formal word like indeed, forsooth, sure, right? Now here what happens is the knife tips. And knife twist in the sense Iago mimics Othello, isn't it? In the next line, I have already chose my officer. His parodying Othello's speech make him sound pompous. And he quotes the fatal verdict as I told to you, I have already chose my officer. Now, this is the point. This is what Iago cannot forgive. Not that Cassius was chosen, but that Othello's will was absolute, personal, and unexplained. It overruled social custom, which is proven by the line three great ones: merit, my price, and logic. It was in Iago's wave tyrannical. The general's authority wasn't just justly, it was used to obliterate Iago's worth. So, Iago's character is defined. Othello's character is defined. This is a masterpiece. So in this one speech, Shakespeare gives us the blueprint of the tragedy. In short, he talks us about the injury, how deep it is, which is the personal devaluation. It's psychic, not just professional for Iago, and brings a clear picture of the villain's mind. Iago is a very self-confident, proud, boastful, um, clever person. He's analytical, transactional, and deeply persuasive because he can build a compelling, and he will, and he has created the compelling hate-filled narrative already. And also we can see the seed of jealousy, which comes as a theme, professional jealousy. It starts here with Iago long before it infects Othello. Iago is jealous of Cassio's possession of Othello's authority, of the very language Othello uses. That's why he quotes that line, right? Uh, and the justification is also already brought out. Iago isn't saying, I will do evil, but he says, look what was done to me. He didn't say that I will do evil, but he said, look what was done to me. That is the justification. This speech is the fuel he will burn for the rest of the play to justify every lie, every manipulation. So, this is still just the why. The grievance. The most dangerous man in the world isn't the one who is angry, but the one who is angry and has a plan. Okay, the person who is angry is not that uh, dangerous, but the person who has both anger and plan is more dangerous. Let's see why. Iago's genius isn't in his hatred, but in his tragedy. Next time we cross the threshold, we hear the lines that echoes through all of literature. He says, I am not what I am. We will see the mask snap into place and hear him outline his terrifying duplicitous plot. The villain moves from complaining to conspiring. If this breakdown revealed Iago's character for you, please hit like. It supports this entire series. Subscribe to Lidloom so you don't miss the moment his plot begins. Let me know in the comments. Does Iago's grievance make sense to you? Is he a wounded soldier, or does this speech already reveal a pathological ego? Thanks for watching. The trap is being set.